4 free review sheet E, the modulus function. The questions on this video are not the same as those on the review sheet, but they will help you to answer it. Right, the first type is very important, graph sketching, because generally anything to do with the modulus function you're going to want to sketch a graph. So I've got a really difficult one here. If you can do this one, you'll be able to do any of them. You've got y equals 6 minus the modulus of 2x plus 4. Now, if you're in doubt as to how to do something like this, don't try to get straight to the answer, okay? So we'll start off and we'll do it in steps. And you might not need to do all these steps, but certainly if you put one or two of them in, it will help you to get it correct, which is what we aim to achieve. If we want to do it in full, you'll start by looking at y equals 2x plus 4. Look at that there, just with a straight line graph. Well, that's very easy. It's going to be a straight line graph, gradient 2. It will cut the y-axis at 4, okay, and gradient 2 is going to cut the x-axis at minus 2, because that's where y is 0. Y is 0, 2 lots of minus 2 plus 4 comes to 0. Next bit, we want the modulus of this. Now the modulus means it's got to always be positive, so anything that's already positive above the x-axis stays the same, but anything below the x-axis where it's negative is going to become positive. So what's going to happen now is you can get your standard V shape by reflecting that part up, that part stays the same. Notice now it's still cutting the y-axis at 4, but it meets the x-axis at minus 2. Now the key bit, it's saying minus that modulus. Now whereas the modulus of something is always positive, minus the modulus will always be negative. So instead of being up here, it's got to be reflected down here. So the next graph we look at is y equals minus the modulus of 2x plus 4. That means you've got to reflect this graph in the x-axis, so it reflects down here, still meets the x-axis at minus 2, cuts the y-axis at minus 4. And finally, you want 6 minus that modulus. So that's the same as minus the modulus of 2x plus 4, add on 6. Okay? So all you're doing in effect is you're going 6 higher, you're going up 6. So all we do is we move the graph, this graph up 6. So it's going to move up here. Now, we need to mark certain key points on. This one's easy, minus 2, 0, move it up 6, we'll go to minus 2, 6. But we also need to know where's it going to cut some axes. Well, minus 4, move it up 6, will go up to 2, so it will cut the y-axis at 2. You can also check that when x is 0, y is 6 minus 2 lots of 0, minus the modulus of 2 lots of 0 plus 4. Well, that's minus 6 minus, and then the modulus of 2 lots of 0 plus 4 is modulus of 4, well that is 4, so it's 6 minus 4, it's just equal to 2. Just putting 0 in here, you're going to get y is 2. But we also need to go, where's it cutting here and here? Now that's where it cuts the x-axis, is where y is 0. That means that 0 must equal 6 minus the modulus of 2x plus 4. So the modulus of 2x plus 4 is equal to 6. Just moving that across to the other side. Now, here you want two things. You don't just want where 2x plus 4 is equal to 6, you do want that, but you also, you can have 2x plus 4 is equal to minus 6, because the modulus of minus 6 comes to 6. So you want 2x plus 4 equals 6, and you want to look at 2x plus 4 equals minus 6. So let's look at the two solutions. 2x plus 4 equals 6. That gives you that 2x equals 2, x is 1. 2x plus 4 is minus 6. 2x equals minus 10, x is minus 5. Those are the two places it's going to cut at. Okay, so do look at both cases there. And there's our graph drawn correctly. Okay, so build it in stages if in doubt. Let's look at quadratics. So you're going to solve the modulus of 9 minus 3x squared equals 6, and then you're going to move to an inequality. Now, all of these questions start with the sketch. That's the key thing. Start with the sketch, you're likely to get it right. So, this one here, let's think about how we build that sketch up. 9 minus 3x squared. Well, x squared looks like this. Minus x squared is going to be the other way up. And 9 minus 3x squared, well, when x is 0, y is 9. So it's going to cut at 9, and then it's going to come down like this. Let's look at these 2 points. where on the x-axis is y is 0. If that's 0, then 9 must equal the 3x squared. So x squared must be 3, and that gives you x as root 3, but also x as minus root 3. Root 3, square it, you get 3. 3 times it is 9, 9 minus 9, 0. Minus root 3, square it becomes plus 3. Minus 3 times plus 3 is minus 9, so it's still giving 0 here, so that's working. Now we want y is the modulus of that, so as always, you're going to reflect what's below the axis above it, okay? So it's not going to be a nice smooth join here, it's going to form a sort of W shape, and it's going to look like that, where these parts are going to be reflected up here, the parts below the axis. Now notice I'm also looking at here, I'm looking where it equals 6 and then where it's less than 6. So I put in the dotted line where y is 6. Because this is where the sketch really helps us. Because it says that if I'm solving the modulus of 9 minus 3x squared equals 6, I want to look at where it cuts the line y equals 6, and this tells me it cuts it at 4 points. So I want 4 solutions. Let's try to find them. 9 minus 3x squared equals 6. That gives you that 3x squared moves over here, is the same as 9 minus 6, 3x squared is 3, x squared is 1, x is plus or minus 1. What about when it's minus 6? 9 minus 3x squared is minus 6, and modulus of it is 6, means that it could equal 6 or minus 6. And that gives me that it is now 9. The minus 3x squared, if I make it over here, is 3x squared, but it's going to be 9 minus minus 6, 9 plus 6. So you actually get 3x squared is 15. 9 plus 6, x squared is 5, and that gives you that x is plus or minus root 5. Now the next bit is really important to be able to find, well, for this part, actually, next bit is easy. You just write down the answers. X is plus or minus 1, plus or minus root 5. But when you look at an inequality, it's really important for an inequality to actually get the things in the right place. So let's decide where everything is. Root 5 is 2 point something. So root 5 is more than 1. So that's going to be the root 5 value. For x will be root 5 there. Here is where x is 1. Here's where x is minus 1. Here's where x is minus root 5. So x is minus root 5, minus 1, 1, 5. And we want where the modulus is less than 6, so we want below that line where it's 6, strictly below it. So we want this part, we also want this part. Now that's from minus root 5 up to minus 1. So one of the solutions is that minus root 5 is less than x is less than minus 1. So it's between minus root 5 and minus 1. The other solution is between 1 and root 5. So 1 less than x less than root 5. Okay, notice it's a strict inequality, less than 6, so we're going to have strict inequalities here. Okay, don't have less than or equal signs there, got to be less than signs. Okay, and that's covering both bits. Lines with different gradients. Do make sure, you don't have to get your gradients right, but you do need to make sure that if the modulus is going to give you lines with different gradients, that it's going to look in the right sort of proportion, that you don't draw the lines parallel to each other, because the line y equals 5x is a lot steeper than the line y equals x, if we just think about it just using the simplest bits there. So we've got a sketch from. Now this time I've not done it in stages. If you're in doubt, do it in stages. If we look at this one, y equals modulus of x plus 5, or y equals x plus 5, that comes down like that. It's going to cut for y at 5, isn't it? Okay, and it's going to cut where it's going to cut down here at where x is minus 5. X is minus 5, I'll give you y is 0. But so it's going to do that. But notice now if I want modulus of, instead of continuing like that, it's going to go like this. Now I know I've not done this, so it looks as if the gradient's 1, but what I've done is I've tried to emphasize that this one has a gradient which is a lot less than the gradient for that one. So this one's got to be a lot steeper than that. That's the only thing that's important, is that getting which one's steeper. Now this one, when x is 0, y is the modulus of minus 3. It's not equal to minus 3, it's the modulus of minus 3, so y will be 3. So it's going to get the y-axis at 3, it's going to be steeper. Let's think where it's going to meet here. It's going to meet where y is 0. Where y is 0, then 5x minus 3 has got to be 0, so x is going to equal 3/5. So there's our sketch, meeting at 3/5 there, meeting at minus 5 there. Okay, and notice 2 points where the lines are cutting. So we want 2 solutions. So you could say, I could actually work out 4 solutions here, because I can say either 5x minus 3 is equal to x plus 5, or 5x minus 3 is equal to the negative of x plus 5. But also you could say, well, why don't I look at minus the 5x minus 3 because of the modulus over here? Well, all that happens if I do that is I actually repeat these 2 solutions. So for instance, if I took the minus case there and the minus case there, the minuses will cancel out and it comes like this one here. Okay, so I actually only need to do these 2. Solving this one, well, you can solve it directly on your calculator. You get 4x equals 8, x is 2. This one, that's the same as minus x minus 5, so you get 6x is equal to, it equals to minus 2, and therefore x is minus a third. So your 2 places, minus a third for the x value, and 2 for the x value. Look at the inequality. We want where the modulus of 5x minus 3, the brown lines, are greater than or equal to the other one, the blue line. So it's where the brown line is above or equal to the blue. So it's going to be to the left of there or to the right of there. So we're going to say that was where x is minus a third. I need to be to the left of a minus a third, to the left or equal to x is less than or equal to minus a third, or I want to be the right or equal to there, which was where x was 2. So x is greater than or equal to 2, that's the 2, or it's less than or equal to minus a third there. And that's our solutions. So good luck with your review sheet.